Good morning, America. How are ya? Monday morning rail. Hi, I'm Denny Jelsma. I'm at the world famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida. It's Monday, and you know what we do on Monday? Yes, you guessed it. We do show and tell. Show and tell is always brought to you by Jelsma Graphics, the people that make all the embroidered railroad clothing, hats, shirts, jackets, you name it, we have it. You just go to Jelsma.com, that's Jelsma on our website, and shop for all the bargains and the beautiful embroidery items that are available from Jelsma Graphics. And with all that being said, show and tell is going to start right now. Show and tell starts right now, and we do have a very exciting show today, and we're going to talk about a railroad that a lot of people really don't know about. And then you could say, boy, there's a lot of people that know about it, because the station that everything is coordinated out is the busiest train station in America. But before I go there, I want to just say thank you for all the listeners that watch us week after week. Number 2 had a successful show where he talked about his fish car, and a lot of nice comments on that. So we just thank you. And we just are very lucky to have the world famous Andrew Casey with North Florida Rail, world famous railroad photographer and rail fan, #1 in the United States, voted by many outlets. So make sure you go to North Florida Rail on his Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, he is on North Florida Rail, world famous Andrew Casey. Now, what is the #1 passenger station in America, and has been for years and years? Well, you would say, well, maybe Penn Station, maybe Grand Central, maybe some stations in Chicago. No, it was in Jamaica, Queens. And you say, Jamaica, Queens? Where's Jamaica, Queens? Well, if you're from the city, New York City, you know where Jamaica is. And it is the busiest train station it is today. 200 and some trains every day leave, and thousands of people ride these trains. And they're commuter trains, and so was ran by the Long Island Railroad. And Long Island is that island that goes way out from New York City, right across from Manhattan. Well, actually a little east of there, and goes about 100 miles. And the rails go about 100 miles east from Jamaica, all to the way to the very end of Long Island. And thousands of people, millions of people live on Long Island. And so you had to get to and from, you rode the Long Island Railroad. The Pennsylvania owned the Long Island Railroad for years and years and years until to the 50s. And what I have here is a couple of, well, I have 3 different eras that I'm going to talk about. And the reason one of these sets of cars I own, and we have a member of our club is from Long Island, and so he likes to run his Long Island trains. And the first train we're going to be talking about, and I like it because it's called the ping pong cars. And what we have here is we have 3 cars, and they held about 50 some people. These were light coaches. They weighed a lot. They were very light, and the reason why they called ping pong was, #2, you got to help me out here.
Well, because if you put one of these lightweight cars between 2 standard weight cars, the braking and acceleration of them were different, and the car would ping pong back and forth as the different forces were applied to it.
And they go back and forth, and so the traveling public nicknamed them the ping pong cars, just like you were on a ping pong table back and forth, and they were very rough riding. And so I personally have never rode on the Long Island, and so Amon, you have.
Yes,
every day of your life.
Many years.
Every day of your life. And number two, did you ever ride?
Nope, never got the chance.
And so anyhow, and these models here are made by our member Amon. And one of the things I want to point out, there was a little platform, and they used a chain that was in between the cars, and so
No diaphragm.
and really no diaphragm. And so you could see how they have these chains. What they would do, they just hook it on to the next car. And so the next set of and these ping pong cars has the Dashing Dan. The Dashing Dan logo, and it was really one of the neatest logos. I just loved it. And they had three slogans. It was Dashing Dan, and Dashing Dottie, and the Weekend Chief, and it was an Indian with a tomahawk in his hand. And I've made many logos with that logo. The next set of cars that I want to, and we still have Dashing Dan on these are MP 54s, and they started out in maroon because naturally the Pennsylvania owned them, and so they were electrified by the third rail. And so what happened, these cars would start and originate underground out of Penn Station, and then go across under the East River, and then come out near the Sunnyside Yard, and they would be above ground, and then they would go to Jamaica Station. And these held 50 to 60 people, and so these are called or the P54s. The original ones were in Tuscan maroon, and then they went to the gray. I like this particular color. These cars here are owned by Amand, our member, and the Long Island went to Jamaica was the hub, and you had to go east nationally, but they branched off different directions to the Long Island. That some had a short run of maybe 30-40 miles, another had a 50, and then one went all the way out to Riverhead and to the very end. And so anybody that is from the New York Central, the New York area, and they lived on Long Island, I would almost guarantee you they rode on the Long Island Railroad. Then, as time went on, they modified the cars, and the public transportation, Metro, took over the Long Island Railroad. In the New York metropolitan area, you have Metro North, which is on the New York Central and also on the New Haven, and then they have the Metro, which is the Long Island. And these were more modernized cars. Here's an American Flyer car. And one thing I wanted to say, there was a combine. Let's go back to the old, this combine. Armin was telling me that what they would do with this combine is that they would put a bar in here, and they had
Use the baggage section.
In the old baggage section, that you could dance. Somebody would bring musical instruments and to entertain themselves, and so that was kind of unique. And so, but these are the new modern cars, and some still say Long Island, some say Metropolitan Transportation Authority, and so one of the most heavily traveled passenger routes in America is the Long Island Railroad. And so I know I didn't do the Long Island justice, but in an overshell, we just wanted to show you the 3 different styles that we have. And so I thought it was very unique. I really like the history and how it evolved from the ping pong cars, the P-54s, all the way to the modern. And one thing, you even saw Kansas City Southern coaches on Long Island because they had to get rid of the ping pong cars because they had truck problems, and they went all over the United States looking Long Island Railroad for cars, and they bought cars from the New York Central, the Pennsylvania, and the Kansas City Southern. Even sold some of their extra cars to Long Island. Very interesting. So I highly recommend you to get a book, read up on the Long Island Railroad, and you'll be really surprised. And with all that being said, that's the way it is at the world famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida, where the sun always shines and running trains is absolutely a pleasure, and peace and harmony and a controlled atmosphere.